So today we're going to be opening up an S Plus engineering project and going through the steps to manually calibrate the IGVs on a unit. So first thing you want to do is from an EWS desktop, I'm on a EWS 3 here, is open up ABB S Plus engineering, and you're going to wait for this to load, and it does take some time. Once you've loaded S Plus Engineering, you're going to be taken to the splash screen here. This is the default S Plus Engineering home screen. And to get to the projects, you're going to go to Projects, Project Admin, and it's going to launch Control Engineering. And you will see all the projects. There's Project 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and Unit Park FT8, which is actually Project 1 and Project for the BOP. So if you double click that, it'll open up. You go through here, I'm trying to open the project. Once that's done, just hit OK. Say System Project updated successfully and hit OK on that as well. Now to get to the actual control logic diagrams, you're going to hit back, go to Application Engineering, and then go to Control Engineering, and you'll see the Unipark FT8. If you expand this out, you'll see L1. There's a ring. I'm not getting into that. Everything's on ring 1. You'll expand ring 1, and you'll see Unit 1 is PCU10 and BOP is PCU70. For this, we're concerned about units. We're going to expand Unit 1, and we're going to see the two controllers, Controller 2 and Controller 3. If I click on Controller 2, it'll show me all the control logic diagrams and all the externals, sequences, and all the CLDs for the entire project. For this IGV calibration, we're concerned about one external only. We're going to be doing the A side, which is going to be external 409. When you load external 409, you'll be taken to this VP01, the SD valve positioner module. And by default, I believe, sometimes it'll open up on device definition. Since I was in here previously, it loaded on data to module. So when you load in on device definition, you're going to see this function code 248, which is your turbine control. We're going to go ahead and go into monitor mode. And when it asks you select the logical ICI, select the EWS PNI. Just hit OK. And once that loads, you'll be online. You'll be seeing real-time values. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this so we can see a little bit better what's going on. So double-clicking this will open the properties for that function block, or function code 248, block 4625. And it doesn't show it here, but if I go to all, you can see all the configurable specs for this block. Backing out of this real quick and zooming in here, going into FM1 right here, this is your actual IGV position. Okay, this is what you're going to be stroking manually to calibrate the IGVs. Zoom back out up here, and then down here we have FM13 and FM14, which if you double click this is going to be Spec 9 and Spec 10. These are your actual 0 and 100 offsets that you'll be calibrating as you manually stroke these. Before you do any of that though, you'll notice that if you look at the 0 and the 100, they're reading in negative 0.7, and your position feedback is actually reading 1 point. So what we need to do is we need to go to this Data to Module tab. I'm going to zoom in here, and we're going to change this set manual switch, function code 50, on. This will display it in the actual units that the VP card looks at it in. So we're going to double click this, which will open it up, and you can type in one. I always hit the enhance, and I do actually check output value set to 1, and then hit OK, and hit apply, hit OK. And go back to device definition, and we'll zoom in here, and you'll see that your IGV position feedback is in the same units that your actual feedback is. So at this point in time, what you'll do is you'll manually go out to the IGVs and stroke them down all the way to 0%. And when they come down to 0%, what you're going to do is you're going to take this position feedback 1 number and you're going to input it into this S9 block right here. So say right now we were actually at 0. I would go ahead and change this to negative 0.727 because that's what this position feedback is reading. You're going to do the same thing on the high side. You're going to go out to the IGV and manually push it open to 100%, and then you're going to put that value that's in here in the spec 10 right here. So again, for example, say that was, negative 0.727 was our high side, I would do the same here. I'm going to hit cancel because we're not actually stroking these right now, just showing you guys. Now what you'll notice is, and let me clarify here, when you do change those values, you want to hit apply and hit OK. I'm going to hit cancel because we're not saving those changes. What you'll notice though is if you hit apply and hit OK though, those values don't actually get updated here. What you need to do in order to get those calibration values to get saved into the actual spec for function code 248 is go back to this data to module. We'll zoom out and you're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the page here. And there's going to be this block 4603, it's another function code 50. It says store cals. Double click this and you're going to toggle this on and off. So what you would do is you would change it output set to 1, hit OK, hit apply, and then you would go back in here, hit output value set to 0, hit apply, and hit OK. Since this is just a demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. Once you've done that, you've manually brought them down and brought them all the way up to 100%. You go back, set this back to 0, hit apply, hit OK, go back to the device definition, you'll see the values update, and then in Automation Architect here you're going to close this external. I'm not going to save it, I'm going to hit no, but in the instance in which you guys would actually make calibration changes to it, you would go ahead and just hit yes right here. And I'm going to go ahead and close Automation Architect, and then when you're done, you want to make sure specifically that you close the project. So to do that, we just go back to where we were before by hitting the back button, going to project, going to project admin, and then making sure the project we have open is highlighted, and then hit close. It'll ask you, do you want to close the project? You hit yes, and it'll take a minute, and it'll update down here and say that Unipark FT8 project is closed once the project's finally closed, right there. And then you can go ahead and close out S+ Engineering. And there you have it. Hypothetical though, I just opened up external 409 because I knew exactly where it was. But say you didn't know what IGV you were going to. Say you're on the B side, you were trying to find that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to the unit. We'll stick with unit number 1. And make sure I got S+ Engineering's opening up in the background. You're going to go to your IGV position, right, because you're concerned about calibrating the feedback. And on the tag, the actual reading, U1B underscore IGV underscore POS, you're going to right click it and you're going to hit block details. I'm just going to leave this open in the background while I open the project back up. Now what you can do, if you remember from the training we had with AGS, is you can take this block detail right here for your 1B IGV position feedback, just double click, copy, you can go to controller 2 and right click on controller 2 and hit view block usage map. Note here, it is very important that you open view block usage map. Do not hit open block manager. If for some reason you accidentally do open block manager, Don't cancel out of it. It's going to go through and map out all the blocks, and it'll come up to a screen eventually that you can X out of. Don't cancel out of it while it's running through its program, otherwise you'll mess up the block order in the project, and we don't want that to happen. So you can hit View Block Usage Map. It'll open up this window, and down here you can just double click and backspace, and then right click and paste that block number. And if you hit go, it's going to take you to the function code of that block and that block number. You see we're at 29300. This is 300, 301, 302, 303, 304, 305, which is where we're at. If you double click that block, it's going to open up Automation Architect with the control logic diagram. And the way ABB handles all of their stuff is everything is written to what they call an exception report. It's either an analog out to the loop or a digital out to the loop. So you can just take this AOL here, knowing that you're at U1 BIGV POS, and double click on this reference block right here. And double click on it, and it'll take you back to your VP01, and this is going to be for 1B, which will be external 411. And go through the same procedure if you were trying to calibrate the B side IGVs. Okay, go ahead and close all this stuff. Close the project. And voila, you're done.